Hey YouTube, my daughter came to visit on Thursday night, so I had made a video Wednesday and I haven't made a video since. But what I wanted to tell you was the other day they're putting a new bridge in town, and I can't get to town without driving around the back roads. And we were driving around these back roads, and it was on this really steep hill with probably about a 20% or more grade, if you ever saw if you know what I mean. But I was coming down this hill, a buck jumped out in front of me. I didn't hit it, but I slammed on my brakes to stop. This is a 2002, and I have 80,000 miles on this, and the truck is in excellent shape. The only thing is, when I slammed on the brakes, underneath the door is that ABS thing, and I blew a brake line. So I looked underneath there, and there were 3 brake lines that were rusty. So I bought a kit for 70 bucks from one of the auto places, and when we replaced, my daughter helped me, we replaced all the brake lines on this truck. And now I don't have to worry about that probably in my lifetime. So that's what I've been doing all weekend. We were working on that. It didn't take quite all weekend to do it, but it took a while. I mean, you can see one of the brake lines there coming down that we replaced. But we also replaced all the other ones that come out of that ABS thing. It was a nuisance, but I didn't want to have to do one at a time because they were breaking as I was taking them apart. So anyway, it's Sunday afternoon, and I really don't feel like doing anything after working with her all weekend, so I'm kind of beat. So anyway, I thought you'd like to know just what I was doing there. And then somebody brought me a chainsaw to fix right there, so I got to work on that. I'll probably look at that thing and see what's happening with it. Anyway, I hope you had a good weekend. My weekend was real good. I enjoyed seeing the kids, and it was my daughter and her daughter, and the kids are getting nice. You know, the older they get, the better they get, some of them. So anyway, I'll talk to you later. Bye. Okay guys, well, I couldn't just do nothing today, so anyway, somebody brought this chainsaw for me. It's a John Shred, or Shred, I don't know how you say this, John Shred I'll call it, 67 Champ, and I naturally don't have any parts for it. So I took the spark plug out and cleaned it. It wouldn't start, it wouldn't start. The most thing though was when I took the spark plug out, it wasn't wet. There was no gas getting in there, and the gas tank was full. So the filter here, this air filter, comes off the top of the carburetor, and this thing was covered in crud. You can see all the junk laying around there. It was covered in crud, and I doubt if it was getting anything going through it. So I took some ether and just sprayed it, or starter fluid, sprayed it inside and out, took this apart, air dried it and blew everything out of it so that there was air coming in all of the different sides and the bottom. So that seemed to be okay, but it still didn't want to start even with this off. Okay, so then when you take that off, let me just show you here. Okay, so when you take the air cleaner off, you can see that that's the carburetor right here. Okay, now there's some dirt on there because I had it running, but anyway, I took this line off here and blew air through it, took the other lines off, blew air through them and stuff, and it seemed to, there may have been some dirt in there, because first I put air pressure on, and then all of a sudden it just left loose. So that seemed fine to me. I cleaned that out, and I dumped the gas out and put I put new gas in it, and then I started it right up. So it started and was running. So I'll show it to you running, but I want to put it back together here quick. It seems like it's a pretty good chainsaw. I mean, I've never had one like this, and it looks like it's made in Sweden, and I'm assuming it's a good chainsaw. I don't know, and I have no opinions about it, so you may as well stop right there before you start anything, because I don't know. I've never had one, but I know how to get motors running. If you have spark, you have fuel, and you have air, that thing should run, unless there's something mechanically wrong with it. When you pull a rope on it, it all feels good. It doesn't seem like there's anything binding or, you know, something that might be messed up. So, like I say, once it had fuel going in there and stuff, everything was good and it started up quick. So I want to put it back together and I'll show it to you running. What happens here is because I'm working with my sawmill and, you know, I have to clean my chainsaw and stuff. And I know you guys usually see me using one chainsaw, but I have a bunch of chainsaws and I just don't feel like using the heavy ones. They're too much for me at my age. So I use a lighter one. Sorry about that. But yeah, so they see me working on chainsaws, tractors, and all kind of other stuff, keeping things running, and this one guy in particular keeps coming over here and asking me to fix stuff. Now, there is a place in town where you can take them, but sometimes they're a little pricey, and, you know, the guy that does the work, and I'm not condemning the man, I mean, he got to make a living. I'm just saying, sometimes they're pricey, and it's kind of tough to always spend that kind of money to keep the saw running. So all I did was basically clean it and blow out the lines going to the carburetor. I didn't even take the carburetor off because at this point I don't know how to get it off unless I take it apart further, and I don't really want to do that. So as long as it's running, that's all I care about. So I'll show it to you running after I put it back together. Okay, so I have it outside the garage here. This one has a thing stop on this. You can see it, they're pretty big. So the trigger comes this way. For me, if you choke it once and then start it, so, you know, he brought it over and said it doesn't run, and my thing is to get it running. So you saw that it was running there, and I couldn't start it before. I tried yanking on it and yanking on it, it wouldn't start. So I just think that blowing out the lines to the carburetor and cleaning it, you know, the spark plug and stuff, I cleaned the spark plug, I adjusted the set on the spark plug where it's, you know, where the spark jumps across, and it seems to run fine. So I'll just start it again just for the heck of it. Now this is one of these where you should probably put your foot through there, but I'm not that shape to actually, I'm not in the shape to actually do that. If you put your foot in here, if you put your foot on this, then you can squeeze the trigger and then you can pull it and it doesn't jump around. For me right now, this saw is pretty heavy, so it jumps around a little bit, but it doesn't matter as long as it starts. So that's it. So he can have it back tomorrow when it comes. And I thought you might just want to see that. Like I say, I wasn't on the sawmill at all over the weekend, and this guy brought this yesterday when I was underneath my truck. So he just set it on the four-wheeler here, and I told him I'd fix it when I had a chance, or I'd look at it. Alright guys, so like I say, I hope you had a good weekend, and that's about it for today. Bye. Well, I already took the dog for a walk, and I figured I'd come down here and see if I could see any of these deer. There's a doe out already. It's a little early. I usually should come down here around 8 o'clock, but it's only 6 something. But we ate lunch or early, so I don't know what Sally's going to do for sure. That's a nice looking doe there. Actually, it looks like the only one. I had been asked a couple questions the other day about, you know, some of this gas pipeline work and stuff. I like construction, and for me, it doesn't bother me because I know guys have to work. There's gas here, so why not get it? The problem is, like, you know, if you think about it, down there where you're looking at, down at this end, all of that was trees everywhere. Like there's a driveway right here right now. None of that was there. It was all trees right to the edge of the road, including here, before they put the wires up. And then on this side, you know, all the way down there, it was trees right out to the edge of the road. But, you know, in doing stuff, this is what they had to do to be able to get their pipe over here and everything. I don't really have a problem with that. Now, and besides, it's not my property, it's state forest. The thing is the state, you know, the politicians, they'll give anything away for $1 as long as it's not their dollar. But my problem is, you know, if they drill and it affects our water wells, you know, that can be a lifetime thing that we can't fix. And we do like living up here, but, you know, it's pretty busy at the moment. But once they get the wells working and all, it won't be busy. There'll be just a couple guys here and there, you know, running the place, and that'll be about it. But all of this was all filled with trees at one point in time. But they do what they gotta do. The deer like the grass. This driveway going up here is from my neighbor that lives over in here. This used to be about 10 feet wide. Right now it's about 40. So they really spent, you know, a lot of time digging stuff up. Not only do they have the water line over there, that plastic pipe, that 16-inch pipe, but they also have pipe underneath the ground there going to wherever. There's a well back in there about 2 miles that they drilled. And I guess they got gas out of it because they're, you know, doing all kinds of work. But they blacktopped his thing here, and I think they did it so there wouldn't be any dust. There was a lot of dust on these roads, and they're trying to stop it. But at the same time, you got to do a lot of hollering to get them to stop it. Otherwise, they just leave it the way it is. But he was lucky to have them blacktop that. And, you know, this part of the road here is oil and chips. So it's not bad. It's just, you know, going to fall apart as the years go on. But it's not bad. It's a whole lot better than the road was when we first moved here. The only thing I don't like about living up here is this road. Because when you buy a new truck and you drive it back and forth, it's a disaster. And I don't want that. So that's why I fix up the old trucks and drive them. Yeah, all the way out there where you're looking, that was all trees right up to the edge of the road. Guys, wait till you see the size of this bear. This is a big bear. That thing is 6'5" to the top of it. Look how big he is. When I came back from the ride, I had put, oh, he's hearing me. When I came back from the ride, it's a male bear there. He was here eating a bird seed. Boy, he's big. He's outside our window.
Be surprised if he's the one that knocked the quill over and ripped it apart.
He's big, that's for sure. Where that black tape is on that white pipe is 6 feet off the ground. Right there. So you figure there's another 6 inches there, so 6'6". He's about 6'4" standing up.
He looks healthy.
He doesn't have any tags on his ears, so he must be not a troublemaker. He must have been staying in the woods. They really like them bird seeds.
Black seeded. Seems. Want this light out?
Yeah, the lights are on outside there. I don't know why.
Oh. I might have been inadvertently, but let me turn it off too.
Yeah, turn them off. Well, but he weighs about 400 pounds.
There you go. I'm surprised for the size of the parking.
By winter time, this guy's gonna be pretty huge.
His head looks bigger than yours or mine.
Yeah.
That's a nice way to wrap up a day. Big going, getting a big bit.
Oh, I'm glad they got to see this bear.